bringing the future of finance closer to every Filipino. This is PDAX. Welcome to Philippine Digital Asset Exchange, where you can trade your crypto for as low as 200 pesos on the web exchange or through our mobile app for more convenience. Register and create your PDAX account with us today. Everything you need to maximize your crypto journey is here at PDAX Prime. With PDAX Prime, you'll have direct access to the crypto market, allowing you to trade over 50 tokens, including exclusive OTC coins, faster and at competitive rates. PDAX Prime also has a dedicated team of experts who are passionate about crypto and other solutions to help you make the most out of your crypto journey. Plus, as a PDAX Prime client, you'll have early access to our wide array of crypto learning sessions so you can stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join PDAX Prime today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar entitled Exploring the World of Digital Assets. This seminar is to promote the reality that crypto is more than just trading. Blockchain, the technology that powers crypto, has the potential to change the way we live and offers a myriad of opportunities in remittance, yield, gold, and art collection via NFT. I am Cynthia Saraiba, chairperson of the PMAP Ways and Means Committee, and this event is jointly hosted by the People Management Association of the Philippines, or PMAP, and the Philippine Digital Assets Exchange, or PDAX. Before we officially begin our session, I have just a few reminders for today's session. For an uninterrupted webinar experience, make sure that you have a stable internet connection. For an enhanced viewing experience, please set your Zoom window to full screen view on your laptop or tablet. This session will also be recorded. For a better sound reception, use a headphone or an earphone. In case you have questions, you may send it to us using the Q&A button, and we will try to answer it during the live Q&A. To start our program, let us all welcome the trustee in charge of the Ways and Means Committee, Ms. Bebet Reyes, to give her welcome remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the People Management Association of the Philippines, PMAP, I would like to welcome you to this webinar entitled Exploring the World of Digital Assets. We live in a digital world today, and that means digital assets are everywhere. With the partnership of PMAP and PDAX, Philippine Digital Assets Exchange, through this webinar, we will be able to know more about the digital asset, which is anything that is stored digitally and is uniquely identifiable that an individual or organization can use to realize value. The People Management Association of the Philippines, PMAP, is a professional, non-stock, non-profit organization for over 1,800 member companies and individual management executives engaged or interested in human resource management and industrial relations work. As a professional association, PMAP helps institutions mold an enlightened, competent, socially responsible, and influential sector of the people managers who are effectively who can effectively participate in nation building. PMAP also helps the members become more effective on the job by teaching the human aspect of management and numerous career development forums and training programs. On behalf of the People Management Association of the Philippines, we would like to thank PDAX for being a partner of PMAP. Again, thank you very much, PDAX, through our speaker this afternoon, Mr. Edmund Daniel P. Martinez.
Thank you very much, Trustee Bebet. And moving on with our program, please allow me to introduce our speaker for today's session. Ed is the Vice President of the Business Development of the Philippine Digital Assets Exchange, or PDAX. Prior to his work in PDAX, he was the head COL Premium of COL Financial, the country's largest stockbroker. He also occupied positions in retail investment in foreign banks like Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, Philippines, and Citibank, NA. He received his master's degree in economics from the University of Asia and the Pacific. He was a licensed stockbroker, mutual fund, and fixed income salesperson. He is also a registered financial planner and a certified financial consultant. He earned his certified blockchain expert, certified cryptocurrency expert, and certified NFT expert designations from the Blockchain Council USA. He received an investment foundation certificate from the CFA Institute and a Level 1 Chartered Financial Technician by the International Federation of Technical Analysts. He is a lifelong learner and an advocate of financial education to Filipinos. PMAPers, let us welcome Mr. Edmund Daniel Martinez.
Bringing
Hello.
the future of finance closer to every Filipino.
Thank you very much for that very generous
Welcome.
introduction, ma'am. So let me just
Exchange, where you can trade your crypto for
after this.
on the web exchange or through our mobile app for
Can you start na po?
Register and create your PDAX account with us today.
Yeah. Yes. Will I be able to share my screen po? I have a presentation sana. Ayun, there you go. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that very generous introduction. PMAPers, I'm here to talk to you about the world of digital assets. So as you know, it has become a very popular asset class currently in the Philippines, and there's a lot of questions. Of course, there are also a lot of misconceptions, primarily because in any industry that's just starting out, merong mga, of course, mga nefarious agents that kind of, pitch the wrong idea with regard to crypto, blockchain, and the many use cases in digital assets. So this afternoon, we hope to clarify every single bit of that. And don't worry, even though that, of course, this is something that you can do to help your employees or yourselves earn money, it's not going to be like a call financial where you actually or any stockbroker for that matter to engage a particular platform during work hours. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about sustainable ways of really participating in the world of digital assets. Okay, so just a few reminders for everyone. This webinar is not investment advice. We'd like to invite everyone to please do your own research first. Of course, investments like this contain a lot of risks, mainly price risk, counterparty risk, foreign exchange risk, and so many others. And of course, in anything that you do, even if it's coming from us, you have to do your own research first para sigurado lang po tayo. Okay, so of course, later on, we will be giving away we believe in this project so much. We believe that this is the future of finance, and it really has the potential to change the way we live and how to deal with money, that we are giving away your first Bitcoin. So if you, of course, that necessarily means that you have to have a wallet to receive your first cryptocurrency from PDAX. So make sure that you download the PDAX app today so that you can receive your first Bitcoin. Of course, it's just a small token, but malay nyo, in a few years' time, it can be something really significant. Okay, and of course, you can download the PDAX app through Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and the Huawei App Gallery. So you can have a wallet that you can store your first Bitcoin. Okay. All right, so what will you learn today? First of all, you're going to learn about cryptocurrency and the blockchain. So again, cryptocurrency has many faces. If you try to research it through Google or through social media, again, not the most ideal scenarios, but you may have encountered a lot of wrong ideas about cryptocurrency and blockchain. So today we're going to learn about them. And of course, the many use cases that we will talk about in this webinar. So that includes, of course, yung remittance, payments, and yield, and also some of the things that you don't expect from something like crypto. And thirdly, you're going to learn also more about PDAX, who we are, what we stand for, and what we're here to render service to. And let's jump right into it. So cryptocurrency and blockchain is easy to access. So it's very unprecedented, as you've seen over the past couple of years during the COVID crisis. Everyone seemed to have started searching for new ways to earn money. And with cryptocurrency and blockchain, it made accessing these assets very easy now, as compared to before when you go through your traditional financial institutions. Normally, there are minimums, there are a lot of requirements for you to participate. But with cryptocurrency and blockchain through PDAX, you'll be able to just access these assets through your mobile phone. And of course, the minimums are not there. For as low as $200, you can start investing. Next is that there are a lot of use cases. And one of the main things I really highlight to customers is that it's an ideal way of transferring value across different wallets. In reality, blockchain sounds very fancy. No, ano ba yung blockchain? Is it some type of technology? But in reality, it is just nothing but a digital ledger accessible via the internet. And the updating of this ledger is also safe and immutable. So that means it's an excellent source of truth of transactions. So that being said, payments are natural. And when I say payments, it's not just between persons, but even between countries. So in the past, if you remit money from one place to another, you normally pay the banks to do that for you. And of course, since this bank has a different ledger than this other bank, so these processes tend to cost money and time. But with blockchain technology through cryptocurrency, those transfers are going to be a lot faster and a lot cheaper. And of course, the more exciting part, I think your employees are going to talk about this, but the NFT markets, no, because blockchain, again, is immutable and perfect information over the internet. It's a good way to track who owns what in terms of art, in terms of music, in terms of so many other things. So we're going to learn about these things today. And finally, because of the nature of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and PDAX, it's also possible to build good financial habits using these assets. So you're investing over a long period of time, you just concentrate on the big ones, and of course, diversification. So let me just give you a quick primer on digital assets. First question, ano ba yung digital assets? So it includes yung mga cryptocurrencies. Any asset that is stored and valued over the internet is considered a digital asset. And that includes also your stocks. If you do online trading with stocks, with bonds, with foreign assets, if you download your eToro, it's part of the universe of digital assets. But for PDAX, of course, we're soon be getting there. But currently, the only type of digital assets we do offer are the cryptocurrencies. And we are at the dawn of digital assets. When I started looking at PDAX, I was a veteran of the traditional financing. The traditional financial system, So this is my experience. So one morning, my bank called me up. Sabi nila, sir, your $500 of deposit with us is going to be rendered dormant. And if you don't rectify your documentation in 2 months, it will be escheated to the government or something to that effect. So, syempre, it's just it's our travel fund that we weren't able to use because of the pandemic. So to cut the long story short, it took me 2 months to be able to rectify all those documentations. I even asked them, where can I put my $500 with you guys? And they offered me 1 basis point or 0.01%. And I was even surprised that they were nag-aalok na ng insurance sa akin. So again, shocking. But being in the bank myself in my past life, I know that banks are really channels wherein you have to that banks really offer products to people. And sometimes yung mga ganyang model are not so ideal for everyone, especially if you want a customer-focused way of addressing their needs. So frustrated, I just went out and in half a day of exploring crypto, which I had, bad, really negative ideas before, I started exploring crypto and I found out, in that half a day of research, I was able to get into 6 different assets, And 2 months of dealing with my bank, ito half a day of research, I was able to put into the 2 largest projects in cryptocurrency. I was able to access fixed income or yield products over crypto. Diba? Unimaginable when you're starting out in crypto. You think it's very volatile, you think it's tantamount to gambling, but really it's not, because there are a lot of products that use the blockchain for this. I was able to put in mirror assets in the Terra network, not advisable to go into Terra right now for some reason, but I was able to get into mirror assets. I was able to get into other opportunities that weren't available to me in the past. And this characteristic have allowed the world to really love these assets. And currently, as of end of 2021, the capitalization of the entire cryptocurrency market or the digital asset market has grown to $2.2 trillion already. And the COVID-19 lockdowns have done nothing but escalate or make it forced us to really find solutions over the internet. And because these digital assets are easy to engage, then it has grown so much. Now, when I started dabbling into cryptocurrencies, there were only 2 coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, perhaps Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. But now there are over 5,500 different tokens with over $2.2 trillion worth of money. So it's not a small market, and definitely something that's going to continue to grow as more and more people appreciate what cryptocurrency and blockchain really does for us. So in this chart is a simple comparison of the performance of some of the more popular investment assets. So the blue line will show you the performance of the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, but this chart is quite different because it's normalized. This chart starts at 1. And so you can see the growth of these assets across time from September 2015 to November 2021. So as you can see, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, medyo ano lang siya, it just went through a channel and then ended up where it started. So again, just 45 pesos of 0.45% of return. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is yung index of the US, yung pamantayan ng performance of the US stock market, have done significantly well. So from 1, it ended around 2.1. So means in this time period, you've doubled your money investing in US stocks. For gold, the gray line over here, you've earned 40%. No? And I think recently, even now, gold is even sought after by investors when there's a lot of inflation and when there's a lot of geopolitical risk. And of course, the main thing today, which is escalating our prices across the globe, pushed by oil prices, and of course, the geopolitical risk in Russia and Ukraine have catapulted gold also to high levels. So I want to focus your attention on these 3 assets. And traditionally, doubling your asset in 6 years is amazing, right? And I'd like to focus your attention again in this chart as I add the performance of Bitcoin over the same time period. Ayun. So the returns of the PSEI, the stock market in the Philippines, the stock market in the US, and gold have flattened completely because Bitcoin was in a really good shape during that time, during this time period. And now I think the multiple is around 250 times. So again, at first you might think, oh, is this a scam because the returns are too high? I'm sure you've attended many other seminars on financial management, and when there's high returns, there's high risk. But in this case, of course, we think that the risk and reward table has shifted towards the right completely because the assets are growing too fast and the risks are also growing with it. So in this chart, you'll see that Bitcoin has multiplied by 2.5 times. No, it's literally not, it's impossible to compare with the traditional assets. Now, focus our attention on the gold line, which is Bitcoin, because I will add the performance of Ethereum. It's one of the digital assets that's fantastic. It allows for smart contracts. So hindi lang siya parang simple coins, but you can automate certain operations of an institution, say a bank or an escrow or any other technology that relied on referring to a central source of truth. So as we add here, the flattened linear return of Bitcoin, because Ethereum added a lot more nuance to the digital asset market. It added, some automations, as I've said, that allowed the decentralized financial industry, allowed NFTs, allowed this industry to grow beyond our expectation. And the market also appreciated that. So yung return for Bitcoin had flattened then almost because Ethereum has expanded by 5,500%. So that is, just an example of how powerful these assets can be when incorporated properly in your portfolio. So as mentioned, here is a simulation of the investments you may have made in September 2015. If you remember yourself during 2015, ano yung mga investments that are available? You can get into the index fund through the Philippine Stock Exchange Index in any of the fund distributors. So after this 6-year period, if you did not cost average, then you would have earned $45. For the US stock market, again, you double your money. For gold, you've earned 40%. For Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, yung 10,000 mo in 2015 has expanded to 2 million pesos. And Ethereum, this very unique blockchain that has expanded how we do digital assets, have expanded to $1 million almost. So again, very dramatic movements in these assets. And of course, given that it has expanded already, your next question might be, is there still time to participate? And this is a chart that shows you the technological adoption curve shared with us by GMI, one of the research institutions for crypto. That's also our partner. So here you can see a chart of the adoption of the internet, yung Web 2.0 na tinatawag natin, or the internet of Facebook, Netflix, Google, YouTube, the internet that we know today, right? So that's represented by the orange line, by the white line, right? And the white line is, of course, referring to the grid above. So if you compare that to the use of crypto, which is represented by the orange line that you see here, we are currently in 2022. We are still in the fast growth stage of crypto. And if you compare that to the previous internet, we are as if back in 1997 and 1998. So during this time, there's still a lot of time to participate. According to this chart, of course, this fast growth stage, or yung 80% average annual growth of participants, is supposed to end before 2024. So there's still time to participate. And again, if it ends, this fast growth stage ends, the next stage is still quite fast because it's 33% average yearly growth. Still quite fantastic. Again, there's still time to participate. We're still in the early stages of this. There's still a lot of things that can happen, and you can still definitely participate. So now we talked about the use cases of crypto and blockchain. So we're going to talk about 3 lang this afternoon. One is through crypto cost averaging. This is the method that we propose that everyone should use, because it doesn't take so much of your time. It's just, it employs some classic principles of investing regularly and investing over a long period of time. Why do we say this? Because cryptocurrency is deadly volatile, meaning it's really volatile, right? And with volatility, your enemy is yourself. Your enemy is your tolerance for risk. And if you do crypto cost averaging, yung pagbili ng dahan-dahan over a long period of time, nawawala yung ganong fear of the market, and you stay invested, and it prepares you for the next uptrend. Next, we talk about steady income. Ito, one of the things that I was surprised with, that for my US dollar, I can get anywhere from 12 to 20%. So again, shocking. Even compared to your peso alternatives here in the Philippines, the crypto yield figures are, fantastic. Third, we're going to talk about the metaverse. This is going to be a growing discussion amongst our employees, even amongst yourselves. I know of companies already meeting in the metaverse. There is a site where you can really get in touch with your employees or have a meeting in the metaverse. So really interesting, really exciting for us. So we're going to talk about these 3 things this afternoon. First, let's talk about crypto cost averaging. What is it? How do you do it? First, you only concentrate on the main cryptos. Cryptocurrency, as mentioned, has 5,500 different assets now. But for us, I think 75% of the market is only 2 tokens. That's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some may ask, am I not overexposing myself to only 2 cryptocurrencies? I tell them that cryptocurrency should be part of your portfolio. So you will have your fixed income, you will have your stocks. It always has a place in your portfolio, but for your risk assets, I would suggest you add it, but no more than 10% of your entire portfolio. Next, you do this on a regular basis. You do this without any regard for timing or what the price is. You just buy it at a certain date. And for me, the most effective way of doing this is to buy it when I get my salary. So I don't see it, I invest it, and over a long period of time, you get to iron out the volatilities. So again, classic example of financial discipline that you want your employees or yourself to have. If you do this, of course, long-term means 5 years or more, 10 years longer, the longer the better, because there you can iron out the volatilities in the short term and be able to appreciate what the asset can really do for your portfolio. So again, crypto cost averaging is just focusing on the 2 big ones, doing it on a regular basis so you control your emotions when the markets are down. And thirdly, you do it over a long period of time so that you iron out the volatilities that are inherent in cryptocurrency and other risk assets. So what are the main tokens? One is Bitcoin. I think out of a survey in the internet, this is the most recognizable cryptocurrency ever. I think the symbol is being overused in the news. It's been parang a proxy indicator for the entire crypto world. But Bitcoin is just one of the cryptocurrencies. It's the OG, or as your younger employees will tell you, the original gangster crypto, founded in 2008. It's the largest cryptocurrency in the world with capitalization of over $669 billion US. So currently, because it's limited in its speed, it's only used as a store of value. So para siyang ginto, no? If you want to store value, you want to grow it over a long period of time, then Bitcoin is the one for you. Now, the alternative is, because crypto, since there's a ledger available on the internet, payments are natural, transactions are natural. For Bitcoin, not so much, because it's quite slow. It's the first. It's literally, with all the things that we're seeing now in the cryptocurrency world, it's a dinosaur. So, but because it's the first one and by far the most effective, you can treat it as something special, something like gold, as a store of value. Now, moving on to transactions, we have Ethereum. I'm a big Ethereum fan because some guy named Vitalik Buterin has decided to add the fantastic capability of doing smart contracts in cryptocurrency. So that allows you to automate certain things. In fact, quite related to HR, no, there's a lot of examples in the US where employment is given as a token to people, and then salaries are paid by the token. So, so there's no longer a contract. You hold a smart contract that pays automatic salaries or bonuses. So that's another use case in the future. It's the second largest cryptocurrency in the market, second to Bitcoin, with $293 billion worth of capitalization. And it supports the DeFi, or the decentralized financial industry, and the NFT markets. So currently, they're transitioning to proof of stake that allows it to entertain a lot of transactions. So sooner or later, you may use Ethereum in your transactions when you're buying things. I think we're also promoting using it in retail. So soon, once Ethereum is more mainstream, you'll be able to pay for goods using Ethereum. So what are the size of these tokens? You've learned this a while ago. I think this is just a few months adjusted. So Bitcoin, $898 billion US, and $452 billion US for Ethereum. These are definitely larger than the Philippine Stock Exchange already, the entire market. So these are not small assets. These are not niche technologies, but these are mainstream assets already. Right? So why do you need to do cost averaging? It's because the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum are very volatile. Here you can see a chart of Bitcoin over from 2014 to 2022, I think by middle of January. So you can see here 3 major movements in price. Yung tinatawag nating mga massive corrections in Bitcoin. So the first rally, it happened in 2017. It peaked at $19,000 US worth of $90,000 US per Bitcoin. It bottomed out at $7,000 US. That's 60% loss in value happening over 539 days lang. So again, pretty quick, pretty volatile. And the second corrections are even faster. So 45% loss in value over 70 days. And the correction that we're experiencing now, 46% loss in value over 77 days. Now, if you see your portfolio, of course, yung 1 million mo naging 400,000 in the first rally, I don't know, but I'd be scared. And that's the reason why you should buy this slowly. Because if you buy this one time, big time, or yung bulk investment, you're subject to that volatility and subject to your emotional response to that volatility. If your portfolio corrected from 1 million to 400,000 pesos, you will be afraid. You will feel this gut wrenching in your stomach. Your gut will really turn around and will make you just sell the asset. And of course, if you sold then you would have missed this current rally that we're currently in. It peaked at around $65,000 US. If you've sold your Bitcoin then wala na. So again, the key is, as with all risk asset, kahit stocks yan or any other like foreign stocks, the key is to stay invested. And if you don't have the time to trade, you don't have the resources to learn how to trade, then I would suggest you do cost averaging. It doesn't really spend so much of your time. You just buy every time, a small amount, or diba? And do it over a long period of time. It doesn't take time. Next, we take a look at the historical price of Ethereum. Ito mas intense pa. So in the first rally, it peaked at around $1,367 US per Ethereum, per Ether, the token of the Ethereum blockchain. It bottomed out at $85 US per Ether. So that's 94% loss. I don't know about you, but I can't explain this to to my wife anymore. So yung 1 million mo naging 60,000 pesos over 336 days. Then again, if you feared that movement, if you were afraid of that, then you would have missed the rallies that peaked around $4,600 per Ether. So again, the key is to stay invested because this is going to be a long game. It's going to be an asset that will continue to grow until, of course, it's more mainstream. Okay, so there. We'll go through the benefits of crypto cost averaging. No, you don't need to study any of the other cryptos anymore. Just focus on the two main ones, the two bigger ones. The one is Bitcoin, which is a store of value, and Ethereum as the enabler of the entire crypto industry through smart contracts. And we believe that these two cryptocurrencies will actually last or has the highest tendency to stand the test of time. You want to do it also regularly to build the habit of investment to effectively front run the opportunity. So diba, when everyone's talking about it, pardon to the doctors in this call, no? When your doctor starts talking about these assets, that means that it's a bit saturated now. So you want to stay ahead before it becomes more widespread. No, you want to invest ahead of it, but you do this properly, slowly. You build it over a long period of time, and you want to also do this 5 years or longer because you want to iron out the deadly volatility associated with cryptocurrencies. And third, and most important, when investing in risk assets, the main challenge is your emotions. Not really what, market movements, but your emotional response to market movements. And once you iron that out, there's higher probability that you will stay invested and enjoy the benefits of cryptocurrency. All right, so how do you do crypto cost averaging? First of all, the wallet that I asked you to download a while ago, you can transfer your fiat currency. That's what we call yung traditional currencies natin, using 36 channels. So PDAX is licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and we work very closely with the banks. So you can transfer through any bank, through PesoNet and InstaPay. You can also use your GCash, your PayMaya, your Coins.ph in transferring to your PDAX wallet. Then you set your personal calendar through your phone. We found that to be most effective rather than setting it in a website where they email you. Malatabunan lang ng email mo yan. And once you set your calendar, ang advice ko dyan, I set it during my salary so I don't see it and I get to invest automatically. Then you just invest, buy Bitcoin, Ethereum. If you're starting with, again, as low as 200 pesos, you can start 100 pesos on each asset. So really simple, really easy. The next thing we're going to talk about is steady income. This is, as mentioned a while ago, this one surprised me because my concept, if you search crypto, you're going to see very volatile charts. But with steady income, you are allowed that certain level of stability to be comfortable in cryptocurrency and also earn higher rates than what the bank will give you. So here are the stable coins. So as the name suggests, stable coins are digital versions of the US dollar. So that means they have no volatility. And the two of the largest cryptocurrencies are the USDC, or yung USD stablecoin in the Circle network, and Tether, or yung USDT, or the stablecoin hosted in the Ethereum blockchain. So for Tether, they've announced that there are really reserves of dollars behind every digital US dollar. Of course, that's been subject to dispute, but nevertheless, these two stablecoins have remained very, very stable, even at the most serious market crashes. We also have two other stablecoins, the DAI stablecoin and the Stellar USDC, but these are only accessible through our over-the-counter channel. So our over-the-counter channel is a special channel that we open between you and our traders so that you can get direct price quotes and execute through your chat service like Viber, Telegram, and WhatsApp. So if you're not really techie, then this is the service for you. And next, we also have gold. Again, unbelievable development of technology. But in that half a day of research, one of the 6 items that I was able to put my money into, my measly $500 in savings, and now even more, was gold. So I was able to buy digital gold over Paxos. So each and every token represents 1 troy ounce of gold that is audited and regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services. So again, these are available in half a day's worth of research. So what are the benefits of stablecoin? As you can see here, you have the USDT and the USDC, the most popular stablecoins. They're shown here in the dark blue and orange lines. They're practically straight. Their value does not change over time. as compared to XRP, LTC, and Bitcoin Cash. These are volatile assets. No, as you can see, they've also gone through those fantastic movements. And stability is something that you can benefit from in the cryptocurrency market. For me, I like to trade also. I like to ride the trends. So if the trend is with me, then I get to put my money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if not, I just put it in stablecoin where it keeps its value. I wait for the market to turn around, then I place my money. But one of the more popular uses of stablecoin is payment. For instance, you are remitting money from Saudi Arabia, you're remitting money from the US, and you want to receive it quickly with low cost, then you can definitely use stable coins. It will not change its value when you transfer from wallet to wallet. Here are the yields of stable coins in crypto versus the US dollar TDs that we have. So here is an example from the bank website. So the chart to your right will show you the dollar returns from Security Bank, BPI, BDO, Metrobank, Citibank, and HSBC. As you can see, some of them will give you nothing. You even pay in terms of inflation if you put your dollars into them. And in my particular case, Security Bank gave me 0.01% for my dollar. Again, subject to 15% withholding tax. So mas mababa pa dyan yung makukuha ninyo. But for the centralized financing institutions, parang digital banks available in the internet, you have BlockFi, Celsius, Ledger, and Nexo. I personally use Celsius because of its good UI and a lot of options for many different coins. But in any of these institutions, you can actually get anywhere between 8.8% to 12% return out of your US dollar. No? Imagine you have fiat US dollar or fiat peso, you convert it to digital US dollars, and then you can place it in these institutions. You open an account, and then you pair your wallet, and you can invest in these assets now quickly. And again, these returns are even superior to the local savings rates that we have here in the Philippines for peso. So I don't mind a slight movement in exchange rates as long as it's compensated by the returns from these centralized financing institutions. So how do you participate in yield products? Number one, again, the wallet is very important. It is where you can put your fiat currency using the 36 channels that PDAX is partnered with. PDAX is licensed by the BSP, so we are friendly with the banks. Then you can buy your stablecoin from the PDAX app or the PDAX web exchange. You can buy your USDT and USDC, parang stocks lang. And then you can open your account with BlockFi, Ledger, Celsius, and Nexo through an app as well. And you can transfer from your PDAX wallet to your wallet in these institutions to start staking, to start earning interest. Okay. All right. Now, last but not the least, the third thing that we're going to talk about this afternoon is the metaverse. So it's subject to a lot of definitions, but to cut the long story short, metaverse is nothing but this. I'm sure you've seen this already, but this is a book way back in the early 90s that was adopted for film just recently, entitled Ready Player One. Right? When a guy with a really crappy life, he puts on the goggles and is transported to a world wherein he has access to his friends and to many other beings. But essentially, the basis for the metaverse or the NFT industry, I'd like to say, is just a Jordan 12. So when I was in high school, Jordan was very popular back then. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. But bagong-bago yung Jordan 12 shoe. So talagang inawitan ko yung tatay ko, Dad, I need to have the Jordan 12 shoe, please, please. And in the Philippines, hindi pa siya available. But when my dad went to the US, when he came back, he gave me this exact pair of shoes. And I wore them to school. And the first thing I did in school was to raise my hand to my teacher and say, Ma'am, may I go out? Wearing those Jordan shoes, I walked slowly in our hallway, accessing yung pinakamalayong CR so that everyone in the school can see me wearing the Jordan 12s. And while I was walking, everyone was oogling, wow, ang ganda ng Jordan 12. And essentially, that is what the NFT markets are all about. No? It's our mimetic culture. It's our tendency na manggaya. Our like for one thing is defined by how everyone likes it as well. So when you see yung mga bored apes, mga pictures of NFTs, people like them because other people like them. So that's the basis of it. Now, moving on, here are the Metaverse applications. Here you can see that the Metaverse is used for NFT art and community. So here you can see yung monkey that's blue, that's called yung Bored Ape Yacht Club. So it's one of the more popular NFTs. This particular one is owned by Stephen Curry. So it's very popular. No? The one that has white hair that's pixelated, that's called the CryptoPunks. This particular one sold for 150 million US dollars. I don't get it, but people like it, so they bought it. The one you see na green guy, that's my personal NFT. I bought it from a local artist. It's called the Board Punks of Society, and I bought that because I want to access the community. I access their Discord server, their Facebook groups, so I can interact more with the community. The Diwata there is one of the more popular NFTs that is local in the Philippines. It's called Aswang. So he made art using the traditional aswangs that we remember. So now currently the minimum bid price is around 5 Ethereum. So that's $1,200 per Ethereum. That's around 5,000 US dollars. Again, very popular because people like it. Another thing is play to earn. Again, a challenge for the Philippines. Most of us are in islands, so sumikat yung play to earn because it allows them to earn money by playing games. And because the blockchain allows for tracking of who owns who, it allows an economy to exist in Axie Infinity, Illuvium, and Splinterlands. So there are guilds in the Philippines that run, the largest guild has 10,000 scholars. So these are students playing the game to earn smooth love potions and trade it over the internet. Yeah, so again, another source of employment for some. And finally, actual virtual worlds. So I'm sure your children or your younger siblings enjoy yung tinatawag na what's that game again? Minecraft. So Minecraft. So there's a version of Minecraft that is currently in the metaverse. So they put an economy where you can actually buy and sell stuff out of each other. You can do markets in the sandbox. You have Decentraland. I'm sure you heard of it. So sila Morgan Stanley, Audi even has a branch there. So it's actual land that you can pay using cryptocurrency. Because we understand who owns what, then value is preserved. And also other virtual worlds. So the core of the metaverse is the non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. Ano ba yan? It's just, again, a ledger that's accessible through the internet that tracks who owns what. And the ledger information is perfect and immutable. You can't corrupt it. You can't change it. It's there. It's a good source of truth. So they use it as a way of recognizing ownership of assets over the internet. And currently they use it for JPEGs, as you've seen kanina. Music, there are artists that issue their music through NFTs na, where payment is automatic through smart contracts. You have videos. NBA has released an NBA Top Shot, which allows you to buy moments of the NBA game. Now, imagine yung 1996 Chicago Bulls, Bulls versus the Utah Jazz, yung winning shot ni Michael Jordan beating the buzzer. You can buy that moment. And because everyone likes it, mimetic culture, then tataas yung value. And quite recently, real estate. I'm sure you've had experience acquiring property. It's very expensive, very cumbersome. You have to deal with the government. But this company bought a lot of real estate properties and used the blockchain to transmit ownership, because it's perfect information. Then in the future, I won't be surprised if everything they own is through NFT. But in the future, we won't call it NFT. Baka ownership na lang. But imagine buying a house, then you're not happy about it, then you can just buy another house using an app, then you can move in easily, there's no more costs and lawyers and all the fees. And it creates value and economy over the internet. So that's the more important thing. So how do you participate in NFT? Again, your PDAX wallet is your key to the metaverse. You can access 36 channels, all the banks, your wallets, and also yung mga pawn shops. If you don't have access to a bank, you can go to a pawn shop and fund your PDAX wallet. Agad, you convert your peso into USDT and USDC, yung mga stable coins natin, then you transfer it to something called the MetaMask. Again, takes a bit of research, but this is one of the wallets available in the internet that can connect you to the many services where you can buy NFTs. You can buy whole NFTs. Of course, if they're expensive, you can buy fractional NFTs or pieces of a particular NFT. So kahit ape yan, which costs around 100 Ether per ape, you can buy like 0.01% of it. So you can write price action. Then you can proceed to buy using these platforms. So again, very easy. Your key is really your PDAX wallet. So I'm gonna breeze through all of this, but again, we offer a lot of tokens in PDAX for whatever kind of risk you like. you can research that on your own time. But what is very important here is that we have yung Axie Infinity tokens, yung Axie Shards, and Smooth Club Potion, which is very popular amongst young people. We also have special purpose tokens that are hinged upon the popularity of Ethereum. So these are services that cater to Ethereum. So once Ethereum has massive use or mas naging mainstream, then you expect all these tokens to have popularity as well. One of the more important tokens here is the Basic Attention Token, or BAT. There's a browser that you can download called the Brave Network. It's something similar to a Chrome or your Internet Explorer or Edge. But the feature of this one is that your browser will have a crypto wallet. And every time you watch an ad, every time you click an ad, instead of them paying the advertiser, the payment goes straight to you. So when you watch the ad on YouTube, you can get it to your wallet, transfer it to your PDAX wallet, and pirahin mo later on if you watch enough ads. In fact, pwede ngang work ng tao yan, just watch ads and then claim it through the Basic Attention Token. All right, and there's also other special tokens that we offer. So these are the more special ones. So you can research them, but essentially these are access to yung DeFi markets for crypto. And now, lastly, we're going to talk about PDAX. So our goal is to give Filipinos from all walks of life easy access to financial services through technology. First of all, we are Filipino. We are licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So everything is on board, above board, and we have good relations with banks. Second, we are connected to the major liquidity providers for crypto. So at any given point, what we give you as price is superior to any other exchange. We also have connections with the banks. So the transfer in and out is very easy. Here are the channels that you can transfer from. As mentioned, there are a lot. There are 36 channels, either through banks, through your wallets, and through over-the-counter services like dito, may Emil Villar and Cebuana La Villar. And we think that we are your perfect launchpad to the crypto sphere. As cryptocurrency becomes more and more popular, we want to be there with you to access all those opportunities for your betterment. And of course, you can also win your first Bitcoin. So if you have downloaded the app already, then you can just use your phone right here and then scan this code and go to the URL and sign up so you can get your free 100 pesos worth in Bitcoin. Again, we believe that this technology can change the way we live, how we deal with money. So we believe in it so much that I'm first 100 Bitcoin in you. We can give it to you so that you can have the wallet on your own. I'll give a few seconds to flash this. Phone, point, and shoot. Okay. Now, one of the more popular sayings in crypto is "Wag me." We're all gonna make it. So again, something that we like to say to everyone who's participating in the digital asset economy that we're all gonna make it. This is a very good technology, has high potential to change the way we live and how we deal with money. And of course, you can invite PDAX to your company. So if you're interested to have a similar session, or you want to focus on a particular topic we just spoke about today, we can go to your company and have a live session or a webinar. So just make sure that you email us through prime@pdax.ph. We'll be happy to discuss these with you. And with that, I'd like to end my presentation. Again, thank you very much. If you have time to hang out with us, you can also tune into our weekly show called Fresh Money, where you learn everything about the updates on the cryptocurrency market and hang out lang over the internet every Monday at 5 p.m. And thank you very much, everyone. I can take a few questions if you're allowed to. Thank you very much.
Everything you need to maximize your crypto journey is here at PDAX Prime. With PDAX Prime, you'll have direct access to the crypto market, allowing you to trade over 50 tokens, including exclusive OTC coins, faster and at competitive rates. PDAX Prime also has a dedicated team of experts who are passionate about crypto and other solutions to help you make the most out of your crypto journey. Plus, as a PDAX Prime client, you'll have early access to our wide array of crypto learning sessions so you can stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join PDAX Prime today.
Thank you very much, Ed, for your very informative talk this afternoon. And I'd like to just tell you that we already have 264 participants. I'm sure they're all interested about cryptocurrency and blockchain. So we have a few questions that came in today, this afternoon rather. One question is, what is your thoughts with the bearish trend happening in cryptocurrencies right now?
Yeah, for me, these bearish movements happen in every risk asset. So even stocks, even US stocks, European stocks, it's caused by the unexpected high inflation in the US. So because of the war in Ukraine, you have high oil prices, and the US was surprised with 8.5% inflation. So that's, again, unprecedented. They usually have 1 to 2% inflation. Now they have 8%. So they were forced to increase the rates by a factor of 50 basis points, 0.5%. Now, ang nangyari dyan, of course, because of that contraction in the money supply, all of the assets actually corrected. But again, with stocks and with crypto, you have to appreciate the value of these assets during this time. No? For Ethereum, the smart contract technology can automate a lot of things, and Bitcoin, again, is a classic source of value. So to me, if you engage the market carefully, properly, through cost averaging, then wala ka dapat ipag-alala. Ito pa yung isang stop ng bus kasi we've seen it grow 3 times, no? And 3rd time is the charm. So again, it's just an opportunity for us to increase, build up these holdings, no? Through cost averaging. And wala masyadong trading kasi that's stressful and requires a high level of skill to do. So you just buy it slowly and then get ready for the next upturn. That's more than welcome, actually, that correction.
So you talked about Bitcoin earlier. There's also another question in relation to that. What financial institution is managing these Bitcoin transactions?
The Bitcoin transactions are managed by what we call the blockchain, ma'am, because that's the thesis of the entire cryptocurrency market. How do you keep record? Accurate, perfect, immutable record without a central authority writing it. So again, the talk about how blockchain works can take anywhere from 30 to an hour, but it allows the network of validators of Bitcoin to validate the transactions in the blockchain. So blockchain, as the name suggests, is just blocks, no? And a block contains a list of transactions that's connected to the previous block by hashing. But that's a crypto activity wherein you summarize the contents of this block into a string and you put it in the next block, so it creates a chain. So that being said, it can trace from the very first transaction to the last transaction. So an accurate, complete record. And you do that by solving a cryptographic puzzle. So maraming ways to validate blockchains. No? But in the whole scope of it, it's just a trade-off between security and speed. So when you have fast blockchains, normally they're not secure. But when you have secure blockchains, they're normally slow. So currently we are finding the middle ground, and Ethereum is leading the way.
You actually mentioned earlier, if I remember correctly, that this is licensed by the central bank.
Yes.
And there's a question in relation to that. The question is, what does central bank say about this?
They think, ma'am, coming from the bank myself, I understand how the BSP can really regulate the banking system, and they're very strict. But we were surprised that in cryptocurrency they're very accommodative, and in fact, just recently they've announced that they are also going to help create yung central bank digital currency, or CBDCs. So they're actually riding through its popularity. But what this does is that it allows effective execution of monetary policy. Kasi dati, ngayon, we just control it via the rates, right? But with central bank digital currency, it's more effective. And in fact, in our case, the BSP is actually very open. For instance, we have a new product, we have an earned product, then they don't say no. Even if they have difficulty understanding it, they just tell us, try it out for 3 months, up to 10,000 customers. Let's see what happens. So I think they appreciate what this can do. I think they're very open. I'm quite happy with how the regulators, with the regulators' attitude towards crypto, and I think it's for a good reason, because it allows us to really enjoy its benefits.
Another participant is asking, since there's a lot of crypto wallet and trading platforms that are coming out nowadays, what is your edge compared to them?
Yes. So of course, your participants might understand might be trading through yung Binance, no? So that's one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. But any crypto exchange can go through two routes, madam. One is through the regulator. So you cooperate with the regulator. It's kind of slow, but again, you get to have relationships with banks, which is more important to us. Or you can do a Binance. See, Binance did it without regulation. So they don't even have a headquarters. So they exist over the internet, regulated by nobody. Again, fast growth. There's a lot of products that they can explore, but again, no regulation. So when it comes to errors or scams, wala kang, you have no protection. So I think that's the most, yung pinakamalaking advantage of a regulated exchange like PDAX is that you have the BSP to license and regulate us. Another advantage is that we have a huge selection of tokens as compared to, for instance, coins like PH or other institutions. Currently, we have 26 different tokens. I think we launched another 5 yesterday. So now it's up to 31 tokens, and we are continuing to expand that selection. In every use case that we can identify, there's definitely going to be a cryptocurrency for that.
There's still a lot of questions coming in. Someone wants to know if they invest in your company, is there a service charge and how much the service charge will be?
You actually open an account with us, but you buy cryptocurrency from the world. So we're just a broker when it comes to that. Of course, our fees are very similar to that of stocks. So currently, I think when you buy a cryptocurrency, the charge is 0.25%, which I think is standard for all exchanges. But what's different about PDAX is that because we have a lot of connections with global liquidity providers, marami kaming source of the same price. So therefore, we can give you the best price. And we've done studies with regard to this. We've compared our prices to like Binance or Coins.ph or the other exchanges. And we found that 90% of the time, our prices are better. So kahit yung may konti kaming kinikita for us to keep our business, it's still quite competitive compared to our competitors.
It's a very interesting question. You have something more to say? Go ahead.
Ma'am, I think they're asking me to flash again po the QR code. I think some of the people were not able to. So if I may be allowed to flash it again. So ayan po. Habang nagchat po tayo.
Okay.
There. Okay.
This is a very interesting question. What are the challenges and risks to investors? How do you detect fraud and prevent financial loss? What are the main causes of drops? Is cryptocurrency considered a legal tender? You might want to answer this one by one. So the first would be, what are the challenges and risks to investors?
Okay, so the challenges and risks for investors, number one is volatility of the asset. Unlike stocks and bonds, cryptocurrency is traded 24/7 globally. So each and every market, pag nagbubukas ng US market, you see some volatility. Pag nagbukas ng Europe, then you see another volatility. So that remains to be the biggest challenge in cryptocurrency because you can't trade 24/7. So you really have to do cost averaging or be smarter about your investing. Another challenge, of course, is that there's a lot of tokens to look at. So in the Philippines, you only have 350 listed tokens, listed stocks. I keep saying tokens, but for the global cryptocurrency market, there are over 5,500 different tokens. So again, that presents a challenge because it's the paradox of choice. You have a lot to choose from. But with institutions like PDAX, we can kind of guide you, especially for PDAX Prime. That's our premier service for customers who are a bit on the older side na, wala nang time dito. Of course, one of the main objectives of cryptocurrency is inclusion. So you want everyone, not just the young ones, to be in crypto. So those are the challenges currently that I can think of when it comes to customers engaging the crypto market. Yeah, so there.
Second question would be, how do you detect fraud and prevent financial losses?
Yeah, so number one, I think guide is that you have to transact with a licensed institution, a regulated institution. So of course, medyo hassle for some of us kasi the KYC standards are there. If you try to transact, then the app will ask you where it's headed. But again, these are protections for consumers. So number one is to deal with licensed institutions only. Binance is fantastic, but it's not regulated here in the Philippines. Second of all is you have to just adjust your programming on risk and return. Diba, the number one indicator of fraud is that if the returns are so fantastic, then and there's no risk, that's a telltale sign of a fraud or a scam. But with cryptocurrency, because it's a young industry, there's a lot of potential, it's globally traded, then the returns are naturally high. But again, not 1,000%, not 2,000%. So again, if it's crazily high, then do your own research, check with the regulator, check with the SEC. I think there's a lot of crypto projects currently that are flagged by the SEC as scams. Again, they go by the same style. They offer huge returns. Tapos ma'am, padadamahin ka muna, di ba? Oh, I give you 1,000%, you put your money, I give you the return. So that pag comfortable ka na, you put a larger amount, then they go. So again, yung aking basis dyan is 20%, no? For a safe investment in crypto. 20% is a standard. Anything higher than that, the promise, especially if the returns are promised, yan, telltale sign na naman yan. If they give you returns that are fantastic, always ask for the risk you're taking. Now, if they offer 100% return, what is the risk I'm taking? If their answer is there's no risk, fraud yun, for sure. But if I tell you about the risk, kating risk niyan, we're riding off oil prices. There's a fund that's invested in many different cryptos. Yun, medyo mukhang legit. But again, if there's no risk, sige na pre, wala yan. There's no risk. Fraud. Saktong fraud.
The third question from the same participant is, what are the major causes of drops?
Oh, again, the market, the cryptocurrency market is considered a risk asset. So globally, no, especially in the US, which is like 60% of the global investing market. These assets perform based on the risk appetite of the largest market. So for instance now, because there's high inflation and they have this contracted monetary policy, they've increased the rates, making it harder for banks to lend, making money a bit more scarce, then most investors generally do a conservative approach. They sell their risk assets. And it so happened that crypto is also a risk asset that's affected by this. So this current downturn that we're seeing is just a reaction to that monetary policy by the US. So that's one of the causes. Because it's a globally traded product, then in global macro can really have a hand in this. But in some particular tokens, like for instance, I think another participant was asking about the Terra network, no? And the Terra stablecoins. Now, on the fringes of crypto, some concepts are still being tested. They're so new that this is the first time that they're being tested out. So to me, of course, it costs a lot of loss in value. But to me, I'm happy because these corrections tend to prove what use cases can exist. And if you can remember also the early stages of the internet, ang dami magagawa sa internet, may mga chat, may ganun. But there's a time where things get tested, they get consolidated, and we're left with the main use cases. And I think crypto is undergoing the same thing. We have these corrections to test out what concepts really work, so that in the future we can see the more reliable use cases. And slowly we're now seeing that some are not feasible while some are. And I'm happy that we get to identify them this early.
Lastly, is cryptocurrency considered a legal tender?
Not in the Philippines, because legal tender is actually when you pay using a legal tender, the recipient has no reason to reject it, like our fiat currency. But in some countries, like the Central African Republic, you have El Salvador, you have Panama, they have considered Bitcoin as legal tender. But I think there's growing concern for some countries, or there's growing interest to make it a legal tender. But for some more conservative economies or countries, they choose to issue this through the central bank, through yung CBDC, yung central bank digital currencies. So with that, of course, that's again parang fiat currency, but in digital form. So that's even better. But in most markets, it's not legal tender. But syempre, it depends on who you're transacting with. If they're happy with cryptocurrency, which I think in my life, and 30% of my transactions are already in crypto. And if they're good with it, then you can exchange value just like that. But you cannot enforce payment. You cannot enforce them to, you can't force people to accept it.
So in the interest of time, we're down to our last three questions. One is, there are a lot of different crypto wallets. Do you think over time there will be 1 to 3 dominant wallets being used?
Yes, I do believe that in this industry, there will be a consolidation phase, and then we get to identify which crypto wallets are going to be left. But I think in two largest players natin are thinking of their crypto wallets as well. And you have Gcash and Maya. So I think Maya already has a crypto wallet, and Gcash, again, I'm not going to be surprised if they launch that in the next 6 months. And yeah, I think those wallets, I think as close as we can get them to our normal day-to-day wallets, the better it is for us, because it's quicker to shift from fiat to crypto, access this investment, send money to your loved ones, and then go back. So those two are going to be coming up, ma'am, in the near term.
Is there a possibility for PDAX to offer staking or yield farming services for passive income opportunity? That's the question.
Very interesting question. I think, did someone leak our strategic plan? I think it's one of our plans actually. But again, due to, I'd like to share lang an HR concern, guys. We are looking for developers. There are not enough tech people in the Philippines. We're going nuts over, trying to hire tech people from the Philippines. We've now resorted to hiring from India, from foreign countries, just to get our business going. So, but yes, it's part of our plans, and soon you'll be able to stake also. Farming might be far off. Again, there are some nuances between staking and farming. But generally, we are planning to offer a yield product in crypto soon.
And this is our last question. With the current crisis we are experiencing right now, is this a good time or bad time to venture into crypto investing?
To me, I see this correction as just a stop in the overall journey of crypto. We've seen this before, and we've seen this in other assets. But kasi the only bad end game naman for crypto is that if it stops, if the blockchain technology completely stops. But to my opinion, blockchain is really essential technology. It's something that really catapulted, the recognition of value over the internet. So much so that they call it the third incarnation of the web, in Web 3.0. So I think it will continue to grow, and this correction, because it's caused by inflation and the war in Ukraine indirectly, I think it's a good time to consider putting it in your portfolio. But again, doing it properly, ma'am. It's not just, mura, let's buy it, because no one can tell what the future will hold. So again, the most ideal way to participate is to do it slowly through cost averaging. Buy it monthly, that's a small amount, get your participation. And when the third rally comes, when it's again appreciated by the world, when there's no more, causes, there's no more reason for people to, trim their risk appetite, then it's not abnormal to see these cryptocurrencies going back to their heydays. Now, in fact, some of the analysts are even have started to value cryptocurrencies in the same way that they value stocks. And, I don't want to hype anything, but again, these values are definitely higher than what we see today. So again, right time, but do it properly. Cost average, buy slowly.
Okay, so with that, thank you very much, Ed, for patiently answering all our questions and for providing more additional information to our participants regarding cryptocurrency and blockchain. So these are today's highlights of the session. There are now new ways to earn money through cryptocurrency and blockchain through the Philippine Digital Assets Exchange. For as low as 200 pesos, you can start investing, where there is excellent truth of transactions, and also explain that digital assets are those stored and valued over the internet, including stocks and cryptocurrencies. So lastly, cryptocurrencies has grown to $2.2 million and continues with very drastic movements. So with that, I'd like to share with you the website of PDAX for more information on their products or services. Their website is www.pdax.ph, and contact details of PDAX is also shown on your screen. You might need to, okay, now they'll share the contact details. And then PMAP would like to thank our speaker, Ed, and Philippine Digital Assets Exchange for sponsoring this event. We'd also as well like to thank everyone for your active participation and involvement. And I hope you've learned a lot from this session. So stay safe and healthy, everyone. See you again.
Bringing the future of finance closer to every Filipino. This is PDAX. Welcome to Philippine Digital Asset Exchange, where you can trade your crypto for as low as 200 pesos on the web exchange or through our mobile app for more convenience. Register and create your PDAX account with us today. Everything you need to maximize your crypto journey is here at PDAX Prime. With PDAX Prime, you'll have direct access to the crypto market, allowing you to trade over 50 tokens, including exclusive OTC coins, faster and at competitive rates. PDAX Prime also has a dedicated team of experts who are passionate about crypto and other solutions to help you make the most out of your crypto journey. Plus, as a PDAX Prime client, you'll have early access to our wide array of crypto learning sessions so you can stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join PDAX Prime today.